And we are back. Yes, finally. So it's right now about 5:30 almost, 5:22 as of recording. I was really hoping to try to stream something today. But unfortunately there's just some a leak in our well water pump basically somewhere in that line. So I basically spent from about basically over 8 hours, trying to help them figure out where the heck it is and different ideas on how to try to fix it, find it basically. So unfortunately, because of that, no stream. I am hoping to stream tomorrow, though. I am hoping to stream tomorrow, but who knows? I do want to talk about Switch 2 because I'm a little bit more, or shall we say, quote unquote, organized in terms of what games I'm trading. Shall we say? I do actually need to pull up my list actually because I want to make sure that I have everything that I'm trading listed in terms of the Switch stuff, because there's a bunch of stuff that I'm trading that is Switch stuff versus PS4 stuff. So I just want to make sure I have everything organized. So they'll still be staying on the list even though I'm trading them off. It's just so that I know which ones that I could get back at some point down the road. So let's actually, it's funny actually, I'm trading more PS4 than I am Switch. Actually, I'm trading basically 7 PS4 games. And the reason why it's technically 7 is because Dark Souls Trilogy is 3 games, right? And this is actually the Europe version. It's the PEGI version, but they play fine on North American consoles. The reason why I'm trading this off is it actually has some trade values. I think it's like $20 something. So this is definitely going. I enjoyed my fun with it. There is another game I actually want to grab. Is it? Yeah. This game I'm not trading this particular version of, shall we say. Final Fantasy 1-6 Pixel Remaster for PS4. Which was actually, I think, the last PS4 game I actually bought. And you might be wondering, why are you trading it? Wouldn't you not be able to play it? I have a Switch version. I actually bought these within the same timeline, actually. Like, within like a few days of each other sort of thing. I actually ordered this, I think it was like the 25th, 26th of December last year. So, and then this was, I think, a little bit right after that. So I don't mind trading this off. This actually hasn't even been used. It's been opened, obviously, but this hasn't even been played. Whereas the Switch version actually has been played slightly. Then we have God of War 2018, The Outer Worlds. Because at this point when I bought this game, I didn't actually own it on PC at all. But I do own it now on PC. I actually own the Spacer's Choice edition, which has, I believe, all the content. So for me, this is useless. And Fallout 4, again, I own the Game of the Year on PC, so there's no real point. I bought this before I had it on PC. Anyways, and you might be wondering, what about God of War? God of War 2018, I can get that on PC. Right? So for me, the PS4 for me is quote unquote dead. Right? There's not many games coming for it. Like I haven't really used it much within the last like 6 months. Like I've done some software updates, and I think that's about it. So for me, and with how much I'm making at work, obviously, I don't want to keep putting money into quote unquote dead hardware because there's nothing for it, right? I want to move on and jump over to the Switch 2. And you might be thinking, like, could you even afford it? Yes, because I'm trading off this stack of PS4 games, the PS4 itself, my Switch OLED Tears of the Kingdom edition, plus one of them is still still potentially being traded. That is Fae Farm. I'm not sure if I'm going to trade it. I need to see in my collection behind me if I have something that's worth the same as this, which is like $34 for trade. So I do kind of want to keep it, but if I have to let it go, I will. But I do kind of want to keep it. So I'll see what I have in my collection over the next few days. So that's potentially going. Atari 50, this is the expanded Steelbook edition. This is going to go for now. I probably will rebuy this at some point. Maybe not physically, maybe digitally. Who knows? So this is definitely going because, again, it has decent trade value. I think it's around $30. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This I actually swapped out for Animal Crossing, actually. I originally had Animal Crossing instead of Xenoblade. But I looked up on EB Games' website what they were worth in trade. They were identical. So I swapped Animal Crossing for Xenoblade. So again, this could potentially return at some point. So those three, well, two, possibly three. I have one more, but I do actually have something else. So I have Metroid Prime Remastered. I have Metroid Prime Remastered. This is actually the Japanese version. And this plays properly in English and all that. The reason why I ended up buying 2 copies was because I thought the cover arts were different. Right? So there's the US cover art. If I go to my US one, there's the Japanese cover. Right? So this one actually hasn't even been played. Like, it's been bought, unwrapped, and stuck on a shelf. So that one is definitely leaving and not coming back because I have the Japanese version. So those are the 3, let's say, 3 to 4 Switch games. This entire stack right here, plus their respective hardware, is being traded off. Because the cost of the Switch 2 is ridiculous. It's over $700 Canadian. Let's see if I can even price one up here online from GameStop here. I might not even be able to. Yes. $6.99. Oh wow, okay. They only have the Mario Kart version, which is even more expensive than what I want. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. It'll be roughly the same. It'll be, yeah, so $718. Oh my god, can I not? Do I literally have to? Oh my god. Give me a minute here. It's like, oh yeah, you can't check out as a guest. You actually have to Okay. Is it? Okay. There we go. So total price is 800 and it's almost $900. Yeah, almost $900 for the Switch 2 with Mario Kart. It's shipping is like 20 bucks. HST, which is like everything else, is like $100, $812, right? So if we do yeah, so that's still over $500 with trade if everything is about $300. I'm not looking at that version, shall we say. I'm looking at the standard Switch 2s. But unfortunately, I can't buy one online through GameStop right now. Let me check Best Buy. In-store only. Delivery. Oh my god. I can't even okay, so $629.99. It's annoying that I can't even price one up. I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to think where I could get another one. Oh, let's try Walmart, actually. Because Walmart has some of that stuff sometimes. Switch. Let's see. Oof. They're even more. Like Switch 2 from Walmart's like $1,000. And just the standard one's like 800. Oh, because it's third party. Yeah, it's sold by third party. Sold by Walmart. Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't actually have actual Switch 2s. They have everything else there. Yeah, it's like $870. So, which I know is not true. It's like $630. So, yeah, it's ridiculous how expensive they are, and that's why I'm trading off my PS4 because again, I've hardly used it within the last 6 months. That's why I'm trading off the Switch OLED is because it's actually has some decent trade value at around $200. The PS4 is I think $70, and these games range from like 20 to like 34. So yeah, we'll see what happens obviously. And right now, obviously, I'm still working till October. So I'm hoping to have the budget by end of January, end of July. I should, in theory, have the budget around this time next month, right? In theory. If I can get the budget around this time next month, we're good. And then I can save the back half of July, all of August, all of September, and then I can pick up Pokemon ZA in October, either digitally or physically, depending on what I can get a hold of. And then still try to be able to budget for November and December, because there's some things there that I need to do. And I'm still hoping to renew my Crunchyroll subscription in April, and potentially, if I still even have budget after that, get some Switch Online with the expansion pass. Give me a sec here. Sorry about that. Yeah, so with how expensive the Switch 2 is, like I said, it's like over $700 Canadian, even if I could get a hold of one. I'm not working that often. Like, I'm working Saturday, Sunday, minimum 8 hours a week, right? At minimum, right? Meaning minimum wage. Like, for me to spend $800, could I do it? Yes. Do I want to? No. So that's why I'm trading off the Switch OLED, the PS4, because like I said, I hardly use the PS4, and these stacks of this big stack of games. These two games here I'm keeping. So I'll put them actually over here, off camera. So yeah. It is what it is. Like, I would love to be able to keep all the hardware, right? Keep the PS4, keep my Switch OLED for a lot of my imports. But for me, there is no way I could do that, unfortunately, because I'm not working at a standard job, right? Like, I'm working at a restaurant, right? So I have to take the hours that they give me, which right now is Saturday, Sunday, and work till they tell me to go, like from 12:30 till whenever. I think yesterday was like 4, I think, like 3:34. What was yesterday? Yeah, just like basically 4 o'clock. Like, there is nothing really around that would allow me to do a full-time job, unfortunately. Everything is all short-term, like couple months here and there, unfortunately. So there's really no way I could make that full budget without trading a bunch of hardware at the moment, which I don't want to do. Like, I've only had the Switch for, well, actually it'll be 2 years actually by the time I get the budget, potentially. And I'm not even sure I'll even have the full budget by around this time next month. I'm hoping to have the budget, but realistically, I don't know, and I won't know until probably this week, actually, till I think Friday, actually, will allow me to assess sort of what the budget looks like even now, right? Obviously, I would, if I could do it this week, well, not this week, but next week, would be perfect. But I know pretty much, I'm not going to say for a fact, because I don't, I won't have the budget. I just won't. Like, I'll be very, very surprised, shall we say, if I do get the budget. I don't think I'll have the budget by the end of the month. I should have, hopefully, I should have the I should hopefully have the full budget, hopefully, quote unquote, by end of next month, end of July, which is unfortunate. I was really hoping to buy it in July or in June, but unfortunately, which could have been a possibility if May wasn't as terrible as it was. It was very, very rainy and very, very cold, which means all the shifts that I typically would have out the window. Literally, I only worked one day, which was the 10th of May, which did allow me to buy Grist was the last one I bought for Switch. I do technically have one more coming, but that's not shipping until September. And that is Doom and Doom 2 from Limited Run. But yeah, no, this was the last physical Switch game that I bought. So yeah. So if May was normal, where I'd be working pretty much every weekend and working every weekend in June, I should by now have had the budget. But unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbled this year, where it was very, very cold and very, very rainy. I only had one shift. Like, I had off, like, I think it was the 11th of June, or sorry, 11th of May, excuse me. Yeah, 11th of May till the 6th of June off. Either canceled or a day off, meaning like I wasn't working for those days, and then my shift would have been canceled as well on top of that. So far I've only had, 5 shifts in over a month. Like, I've had 4 shifts in June already. So yeah, so it is what it is. I would really prefer working. I have told them, hey, if you guys need me during the week, don't hesitate, send me a note and I'll come in. But yeah, I don't really I don't really know yet, shall we say. I do know this weekend, but I don't know about yeah. So it is what it is, obviously. Like I said, I wish I had the budget by now. But it is what it is. And you might be wondering, like, are you still going to be doing games and stuff on Switch OLED? Yes, I'm still going to be using my Switch quite frequently, or as frequently as I can. Like I said, I was planning to stream today, not on Switch, but on PC. But because of everything going on today, I actually had to be outside for pretty much the entire day. I've only maybe been inside for at most an hour to an hour and a half. Around sort of like 2:30ish, to have some lunch. Other than that, I was outside with everybody else, like trying to figure out where this line could be. So I'm really hoping tomorrow I can actually stream, but it all really depends on when the guys come back. So who knows? So yeah. So like I said, I'm still going to be using the Switch OLED as long as I can. Once I know I have the budget, Then I'm going to wipe the PS4, get it all unhooked and everything from the desk and all that, like all on cable managed. Pull the hard drive. Excuse me. Wipe the Switch OLED and pull its SSD or its SD card. Excuse me. And yes, I know you can't use that SD card on the Switch 2. You have to use Micro Express. And you might be wondering, am I going to be getting one day one? No. I'm not going to be getting one day one because I probably won't be needing it right away. But I am still going to be using this cable here, which is for the Pro Controller. So yeah, other than that, really, that is everything that I'm going to be sort of trading off, and sort of my rationale behind my situation with the Switch 2. I would love to keep all the hardware, right? But sometimes you have to make tough choices. Budgets dictate. And I'm lucky I do have hardware to trade, right? So, I've had the PS4 for, hell, almost 5 years now. Yeah, I've had the Switch OLED for almost 2 years. It'll actually be 2 years in a couple weeks, actually. About 2 weeks, actually. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, like I said, I am lucky I do have hardware and stuff to trade for it. And you might be wondering, like, what is your take on the Switch 2's price? Do you agree with it or don't you agree? I kind of agree, but in also in some ways I don't agree. Right? It's just a little bit surprising how expensive it is. I was not expecting it to be as expensive as it is. Like I said, $630 Canadian before tax, 700 and something with tax for where I live. That's a little bit much, right? To put that in perspective, an Xbox Series X is about $24 to $25 more expensive than a Switch 2, right? And that's even without the trade, right? So, yeah. So for me, I'll probably be using this. And you might be wondering, then why don't you just buy an Xbox Series X if you're doing a trade? Look at the wall behind me in terms of Switch stuff. If that was all green and Xbox, then we would be having a different conversation, right? That's all red, right? Most of my Xbox stuff is digital. So, yeah, so for me, I use my Switch quite a fair bit. At least once or twice a week, I use my Switch. So, for me, it makes more sense to go down the Switch route. Obviously, I wish it wasn't as expensive as it is, but it is what it is. And I'm finding now that Nintendo is not really clued in, shall we say, to people's budgets, right? Meaning, oh yeah, we're going to charge $450 US, which is $630 Canadian for it. That's a little excessive, right? To put that into contrast, my Switch OLED, which is the Tears of the Kingdom, with tax, was $493, right? The Switch 2 with trade should be somewhere like within the 400 range, which you might think, oh, that's cheap-ish. I shouldn't say cheap-ish. You might not think 400 is still not cheap. It's reasonable, right? Just over 400. That's what I'm expecting. But who knows, right? I'm not even sure I can even get a hold of one, right? obviously, if I had the budget right now, I would buy one online, right, and get it shipped, right? Yeah, it would be about a week to a week and a half. It would probably be here in like early July, right? Which is fine. If I had the budget and I didn't need to trade anything off, right? But since I have to trade stuff to lower the price, I'm hoping, and I probably won't know until Saturday actually, if I would actually have the full budget. I don't think I will. I'll probably have about, if I'm lucky, a third of it. So, like I said, so it's, let's say, so yeah, so that should be about $137 roughly. It would be a third of it. So that's sort of what I'm expecting, but who knows? I could get lucky and I could have half of it, right? Which is possible actually. But yeah, so that's why I'm expecting to have most of the budget, hopefully all of it by the end of July. Which obviously I don't want to do it in July. I would like to do it in June, but like I said, that's how the cookie crumbles, right? So, anyways, bye bye.